Well, we thought that was going to be a close one, and I know Brett Bielema was very emotional last week after barely losing to Alabama, but even after that game, the coach said, hey, there's some things we can work on. We're not too far away.
Obviously had a chance to review the film on Sunday, and I think that anytime you win a ball game, you're always looking for a lot of negatives and try to correct try to make the best of the learning opportunity you have after a couple tough losses. You obviously are going to have some negatives to point out, but try to point out some positives. And there were a lot of really good things happening. Some guys played extremely well. Still had a lot of guys do some things that took away from what we're doing, and overall, obviously, it wasn't enough to get it done. But I thought our guys showed some response, showed some resolve that I was happy to see, because there's at points when we've been here where that hasn't happened. It was interesting, I looked at the scores and I saw the A&M Alabama game, and that was pretty lopsided at halftime. The scores at halftime for the Mississippi Florida game was 20-0. It was 45-0 Alabama over A&M. It was 27-3 LSU over UK, and we were down 38-6. The results of those games continued the trend in every one of them but one, which is ours, and we outscored ours. It jumped out to me too. I also listened to Coach Rick speak in his presser, and he made a comment or reference that we outplayed him in the second half, and sometimes you're oblivious to that because you don't think that way, but we did outscore them 26-7. UK never, the other games ended up 41-3, 59-0, 42-13. Ole Miss beat Tennessee 41-3. Those teams were behind at the half. There wasn't a resolve that our guys have, and I give a lot of credit to our coaches and our players for doing that, because that don't happen. And again, it's a great testament to our kids. And believe me, I so want to be over this hump and be where we need to be. But I think a lot about even like a year ago when people would say, "Coach, how do you know what's coming, or why do you say that, or what do you get excited about?" And I would say to you guys, and I would say to other people, and I think they're just like, "Oh yeah, that's coach speak." Well, it's not. It's not. I see the things coming, and there's a great case in point. We played really bad football for about a 5 or 6 minute stretch in the second quarter that you can't do versus good teams, because they will capitalize on it like no other, and that's exactly what Georgia did. But then our guys responded in the second half, took the fight to them, and capitalized really on every opportunity. Still didn't play a complete clean game in the second half, but played very, very well, and were able to outscore an opponent that is very good, 26-7. And that doesn't happen if you're a team that is quitters or doesn't have the desire to have success. So it's another great indicator of why I know what's coming. You got to give credit to your opponents. I mean, there was a couple very nice counter moves and some rushes that are good by them, but on the same account, we have to protect our quarterback. We were on the ground. The quarterback hit the ground 11 times, and obviously BA got up slow a couple times. You're just playing Russian roulette there if you let your quarterback get hit. And you know what I need to see? I need to see some urgency out of them. That hey, I got beat and my quarterback's on the ground. I better be back there helping them up and letting them know it ain't going to happen again. So there's some development by our guys that we need to continue to stress and move forward, but it's nothing that we can't really overcome or emphasize. The different approach that I really believe is you build your reputation over a period of time. It takes your whole life. You can take forever to build the value of your name. One of the things I always tell our guys when they first come in is, all of us are given one thing at birth that you carry with you your entire life that doesn't cost you a dime, and that's your name. My name is Brett Arnold Bielema, and I've tried to add value to that name every day of my life. And I'm not talking about value in your bank account. I'm not talking about what kind of house or car or any of that jazz. I'm talking about what you are when you're in a room, but more importantly, what does someone say about you when you leave? And they've built a reputation off of a lot of things they've done this year, and for about 10 minutes in the middle of the second quarter, you try to take away from everything you built. And the reputations are very fragile in the fact that the more you add to them takes a long, long time, but when you detract from them or you subtract, it takes a very short amount of time. And everything that we had built up was kind of in balance there in the middle of that second quarter, and unfortunately they came out the second half and responded properly, but we got to do it again this weekend.
I learned something new listening to Brett Arnold Bielema. He looks like an Arnold, doesn't he?
He looks more like a Bert to me, but that's fine. They almost got it right with the first name. Either way, I mean, just inspirational. I mean, there was a couple of things where you could write down where, what kind of guy, and you only get a name, and when they walk out of the room, what do they say about you? You can see why these players respond so well to him.
So close, and then bam, Saturday happens. Georgia just absolutely waxes Arkansas. So, I mean, what are the issues with this Arkansas team? They can't seem to close that win.
That's the word, except what I think we saw this past game, and he referenced about 10 minutes in the second quarter. Instead of it being a late game collapse,
like A&M or
an A&M or an Alabama, instead it happened in the second quarter. And so it's almost like spin it earlier in the game and almost take your poison early and try to climb back into it, because they collapse. They collapsed yet again, and you see it where if it's not protecting the quarterback. They had a short field. They were on the plus side territory after Georgia tried an onside kick, and every opportunity to jump back on top of the Dogs, who were able to answer their opening score, and instead you go backwards, 2 sacks in a row, you lose the field position, you take yourself out of a scoring opportunity. Those are the things that winning teams don't do. They don't do them at home, they don't do them on the road, and you see it right now. They've gotten into a habit of finding ways to make those plays that end up undercutting their efforts.
Are they a little too one-dimensional? I mean, almost 60% of their run, and I know that they are very strong running the ball, I say it, but less than 200 yards passing. When they threw the ball against Alabama, they had a little bit of success. Are they too one-dimensional?
They had success throwing the football versus Georgia. In that second half, it was not pretty from Georgia's perspective, and credit Arkansas for fighting their way back into this game. 296 passing yards. Yeah. Part of that is a function of the way Georgia was playing defense with the lead. And at the same time, I think any offense in America would want to be able to say we're balanced. That way, you always have that issue from a defensive standpoint of having to handle both. Arkansas, I don't think for them to have success, I don't think you can just point to they're one-dimensional offensively, because there have been other areas and other aspects of their play that have undercut their record and have really haven't enabled them to get a conference victory yet.
All right, so tell the viewers, if you're in Fayetteville, if you're in Little Rock, across the world, NASA, I know we're going to be on the space station here in a couple of weeks. How do you feel about this Razorbacks program, where it's at under Brett?
Yeah, I think that they should at least be a little bit patient, and that's hard to say. I mean, you can look at a Tennessee program, they're asking for patience. There's a lot of programs right now that are saying to their fan base, just give us a little bit of time. But you look at the way Arkansas has performed. You take that second quarter away, it's a big chunk of the game. Sure. I realize this team didn't lay down. They're vastly improved from what they were. They are explosive still. They weren't at times in this game, granted. But it's not like this thing doesn't have any positive trajectory. Of all the teams that are winless in conference, which is almost impossible to say, this is the one I think that is the brightest right now. When you look at what Arkansas could be doing and yet hasn't gotten out of its own way, the future could be very bright.
So close for him. So we'll see if Bielema, Mr. Arnold Bielema, can get it a little bit closer.
Arkansas right where it wants to be Saturday at home against a non-conference team. Razorback 6-1 against non-conference teams over the last 2 seasons. UAB visiting Fayetteville. The Blazers 4-3 on the season. Lost last week to Middle Tennessee. To Northwest Arkansas we go, in Fayetteville, the site of Arkansas and UAB. Now, we want to flash back, though, to Lafayette, Louisiana. This was Tuesday. The oh-so-talented Laura Rutledge doing a live report in the band. The band is on the field and right in front of and behind and next to Laura, who joins us right now. So we'll... And that Razorback band may be a little bigger, so just be careful. SEC bands, you know what they say, Laura. Okay, Arkansas fan. I'm trying to imagine when I was in Little Rock on Monday and got a pretty good sense of this. Frustrated but still somehow optimistic. What's the state of this of the fans' mindset in Arkansas right now as you see it?
Well, I think fans, like you said, are incredibly frustrated, but they're, of course, trying to say, all right, how can we do this? How can we get past this whole situation? Just like I'm about to get past this band right now. You know what? Facing adversity is big, Dari, especially on the SEC network. And the difference between that band and the Louisiana band is that the Louisiana band was actually bumping me with their tubas. That band, their instruments were a little smaller. But
Yeah. I was going to say the Louisiana band actually had some level of talent. This one, I don't know about.
Yeah, they're carrying a tune, but it's not a tune that you would want to write home about right now.
No, that's a great point. There's no doubt. All right, well, let's look at Arkansas's quarterback here. So much for the fan level of frustration, right? The quarterback himself, he's healthy. Seems like he's playing better. They trust him in big situations, right? What are the biggest ways that they're telling you he's progressed, Brandon Allen?
Well, Brandon Allen has made a lot of improvements from last year to this year. And it's a situation where Allen is a guy that really looked at the film last year and said, all right, in the pocket, I'm super jumpy. I'm not getting it done. He said he almost looked scared in the pocket when he looked back at film. So we really worked on a lot of footwork drills in this offseason leading into this year. And I think one of the biggest improvements that he thinks he's made is in leadership. And he said he was kind of a quiet guy. He didn't really feel like he was the guy that could stand up and speak to his team, but he realized that as a quarterback, you kind of have to do that in this day and age. So he's made that development happen for himself. He said when he first would stand up in front of the team, he would kind of lose his words. He didn't know what to say, but now it comes naturally to him, and it's something that he really focuses on. Another thing he does, Dari, after pretty much every play, and I watched this in action last week in Little Rock, he goes up to each offensive lineman, gives him props, encourages him, and he said, hey, those guys do a thankless job. They don't get enough credit, and I also think he's pretty smart because those are the guys who are in charge of protecting him.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Now into Fayetteville comes a UAB team that, I think we remember back in week 2, played pretty well against Mississippi State, hit them with some big plays in the passing game. What are we looking for in this Blazer team?
Well, UAB, like you said, Dari, a team that put up 34 points on Mississippi State in week 2. Now, at that point, people thought Mississippi State was pretty good, probably didn't realize exactly how good they are. Now, of course, the top-ranked team in the country. So I think this UAB team is a little bit scary in that sense. They run an up-tempo offense. They want to play fast, and that's something that Arkansas is going to really look out for. But UAB coaches said they have to establish the run game early. That's their biggest key. And Jordan Howard, their running back, is what gets it all going. Now, on the other side of things, Arkansas defensively said we have got to stop Jordan Howard. They've really got a key on him particularly, so look for them to try to make sure that UAB is a one-dimensional team early on in this game, and they will force them to throw the ball. They, of course, are continuing to emphasize turnovers. They feel like they've gotten their hands on some balls but haven't come through with interceptions, so that's certainly a stress that they're making going into this week.
Wherever you are, a band will play. That's a good thing, Laura. That's a very good thing. We'll see you Saturday. Time for a little bold prediction action and look at Arkansas. That's where we will start at home against UAB on SEC Network, noon Eastern, 11 in Fayetteville. Razorbacks under Brett Bielema 6-1 all time against non-SEC teams. And with that, Brooker, we will let you fire it up. Your bold prediction on the Razorbacks.
400 plus yards rushing this week. We know the running game is very, very good, but it hasn't been up to the level early in this season as of late. I think they get it going over 400 plus yards rushing. They've only done that one time this year. It will be a running back frenzy for the Razorbacks.
But do you not take some of the time and continue to work on improving the passing game, taking some yards away from the run game?
You have to do what you're good at. And right now they're good at running the football, so they have to continue doing that.
That's pretty bold, too, considering Corliss Marshall's a little banged up. I mean, you're expecting both those guys to go for 200 plus.
Absolutely.
That's an impressive day at the office.
All right, your
Brandon Allen's going to complete 70% of his passes, more than 70%.
Okay, how many? Hold on, we're not talking 7 for 10 here. What do you got? Give me some attempts.
Or 4 for 5 like he was against Nicholls State.
Exactly right.
I don't want that. I want Brandon Allen to have 20 attempts, and I want him to complete 70 plus. He's going to complete 15 out of those 20.
All right.
He's going to play well. I expect him to. UAB's not great defensively. They've given up some yards, and he's made throws down the field. He needs to continue to progress because he's going to need that momentum that he builds in this game going forward.
Maybe a chance here, if UAB's defense isn't much better than it's been, for Arkansas to really start to work on some things offensively outside what we know they're good at.
All right, time to get the picks on the entire day as we work our way towards Arkansas. Arkansas 3-4 on the year. They've had all those close games, still yet to break through with an SEC win. Now they get a remedy game against UAB. Brandon Allen threw for 296 yards last week. against Georgia. Jonathan Williams, 20 rushes of 10 yards or more.
He is a very explosive running back, but they have to be able to be consistent offensively this week to go back and forth.
Marcus, how much do you like Trey Flowers? 21 tackles for loss since the start of last season.
He's going to be a first-round draft pick. He's going to be a pro for a long time.
That's why he's the freak of the week.
A great chance to play.
Said this week his guys had a workmanlike approach. Didn't feel that there were any after effects from that Georgia game, which certainly could devastate a team, but they rallied in the second half, actually outscored Georgia 26-7 in the final 2 quarters, but not enough. So we will see what will happen here. UAB wins the toss, they defer, so Arkansas will get the football first. Once again, no Corliss Marshall, who was second in the SEC in kickoff returns, but he has been suspended for at least a couple of more weeks left. They will split the tight ends off the line, and they'll hand it off to the right side. Here's Williams. He needs 11 yards, and he will have it. Give him 13 in the field, and scored a touchdown against the Bulldogs. Here's Allen. He's going to the wide side. Pass is caught. Inside the 20, they will spot it 44 yards.
Yeah, Drew Morgan is an outstanding receiver. He's going to get a nice outside release, double move it, and then up the sideline. Same from this side, and then it's just pick 'em for Brandon Allen. He gets behind Jimmy Jean. Watch the hesitation, and then the speed. Watch this catch, though. The concentration.
From the 18-yard line. Here's Williams, right off guard. He's to the 11. Offensive line comes in to help him get it inside. The catcher comes in motion to the formation. Williams. Touchdown Arkansas from 3 yards out. And Williams just picked up his 10th rushing touchdown.
Go against this Arkansas defense and try to wear them down.
Sling it to the far side, and nothing happening there.
Georgia, hostile Georgia.
They say he is a perfect fit for this offense. That loves the up-tempo, no huddle.
Put on about 20 pounds this offseason. Now he's up to about 255.
Boy, Allen has time, but then steps up in the pocket and delivers it right on cue to one of those tight ends we're talking about. This one is Hunter Henry, his 17th catch of the year. That one goes for 14. Second down and 10. Caught on the near side by Cody Hollister, the sophomore. He'll pick up the first down.
From inside out. That gives you a chance to get some extra yardage.
Look at Collins turning the corner. A stiff arm and dragged down at the 15-yard line.
There may have been a face mask on the back end of that. No flag. Watch number 25 sort through it. Take a nice angle. Avoids the block of Brandon Allen, and then able to track down a pretty quick player in Alex Collins.
Collins. Touchdown. That'll be his 9th rushing touchdown of the year. And Collins each have a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, you're going to see right in here, that's Keon Hatcher. Watch him set the edge once the ball is snapped. He'll set the edge. Watch him hold the point of attack right there. If he gives that away, there's no way Collins gets himself into the end zone. It's job by A.J. Derby as well, but that's a receiver.
A couple of sacks to his credit. Where's 86? Little toss to the boundary side to DJ, but now you're in a dicey situation. UAB hurrying up to the line. No quarterback sneak it. He had to get to the 46. Let's see where that spot is. This will be all about the spot, the right foot.
The left foot is a first down. The right foot, it's going to be short. And gone.
Right, a little bootleg.
Yeah, just to the outside edges, and it would have been a first down. Everybody's pinching down inside.
This is a huge O-line here at Arkansas. They will block a huge hole for Jonathan Williams. He's inside the 10, down to the 9. That was a big league hole on the left side, 17 yards.
Watch Sebastian Vitola, the left guard. Watch that block, freeze it. Well, that's a lot of real estate in which to run through right there. You're on the 3rd level of the defense before anybody, you encounter another player with a different colored uniform on.
Here's Allen. He will dump it off to Jonathan Williams, and he will take it into the end zone. 17 yards on 3rd and goal, untouched.
Nobody there to handle Jonathan Williams out of the backfield, and well, you give him that much space, he is going to find the end zone.
Collins on this handoff. Alex dancing around, and he'll take it out over the 15, close to the first down. Give him 9. So on Monday, Coach Bielema had him take extra reps to do this. Catch it and go.
And this is the left side. So you have an unbalanced line to that side. You think they're going to go right. They come back with a toss to Collins the other way.
Gain of 23 for Collins, who now has 61 yards on 7 carries. They'll fake it, throw back. Here's A.J. Derby. A.J. close to the 40-yard line. That'll be another big gain of 19 yards. Here's Williams, big hole. Jonathan Williams to the 10 and pushed out of bounds.
I mean, it is straight downhill. I am coming in your living room. Nice down block. They pull Tretola around, and a nice kick out by the fullback, and it's off to the races for Jonathan Williams. No hesitation.
So Arkansas in a unique look, and they will snap it. Oh my goodness. Is that Tretola going to throw it back? Are you kidding me? Touchdown Arkansas. Luke Rossi comes up with the reception. That is unreal.
Tretola just gave the Heisman.
Oh my goodness.
They spread out, then they get the big fella. He moves over here so he can take this direct snap, and then they roll out a lineman that's going to cross to the back of the end zone. Watch here. There goes the delay. There's the tight end.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Gosh.
It's actually Jeremy Sprinkle.
Somebody has to tell him to come get the quarterback. So look, they're all like going, hey, dude.
No, I think it's all designed, Dave. I think it's all designed, and then he just.
Oh, my goodness.
How about that? Fading away with it. He didn't step into it. It was a fadeaway. The same look other than substituting right here. And now they've moved the linebacker over in the corner. Now they've protected themselves after the last look.
Blazers get set now, stack formation on each side. Into traffic, double coverage. Lucky that one wasn't picked off the game. Here comes some heat. Briscoe throws it up in the air. That one's batted around and almost picked off again.
From Jeremiah Briscoe, but then Dean does a nice job in recovery on that route. Watch him close the gap on Jamarcus Nelson and then just knock the ball away right at the last second.
Allen. Again, Henry right at the first down line. Where's Cody Walker gets the handoff, breaks a couple of tackles. Touchdown Arkansas. His first of the year.
Line up at fullback. He can play running back. He catches the ball well. He's a good blocker, and kind of rewarded him for that nice job in pass protection.
How about the big fella, Sebastian Tretola, with the touchdown pass? What kind of work went into that?
You know, we drew it up. I drew it up about 3 weeks ago, and he's got actually a pretty good live arm. I never seen him throw off his back foot, but come to Arkansas, you're an old lineman, we'll make you famous.
Did you tell him you were going to get that in?
I did. He's been prepping for it. I told him not to tell his mom because she's probably going nuts in California. Try to keep it a little secret, but a lot of fun.
Thanks, Coach.
The Apollonia on the other end of it.
Here's Briscoe. He'll throw. First pass picked off. That's his first of the year.
Boy, everything going right. You're going to see Briscoe staring down, looked in there a little bit too long. They had a nice high-low with Tevin Mitchell and Alan Turner, the safety, over the top. They squeeze it.
First down and 10. Williams will start the second half. That tailback, he'll get the handoff. Big hole off the left side. He's to the 33-yard line and run out of bounds. That's a gain of 13. Good clean snap from the Apollonio. And he hits it from 49. Good advancing past one first down. They turn it over to the sophomore out of Greenwood, Arkansas, Adam McFain, who splits him from 49 yards out.
William Mitchell's going to graduate and be an all-out competition for that job.
Batted away. Tevin Mitchell on the coverage.
Last week against Georgia, they came out for the second half as if they were starting the game over, so they get back in the ball game. Finished strong, but they have been waiting on that young man, number 23, Tevin Mitchell.
Here's Howard on the toss. Nice open field tackle on that far side. Just saying. Boy, a little razzle-dazzle doesn't work. On third down and goal, Arkansas blows up the reverse, which looked to be a pass. Miles McGee, the backup QB.
And pitch it. They're looking to get the tight end, freeze it. Back here, open. Nice job of Jared Collins.
First down and 10. UAB back at the 25-yard line. Nothing happening there as Howard is slung to the ground, loses a yard. Brandon Lewis, the sophomore, backup defensive end, getting some work. Pass is caught near sideline. Nice little run after the catch, too, by Cody Hollister. Looking at a second down and 15. It will stay on the ground. Here's Williams cutting it back against the grain. Jonathan Williams sees a little seam and gets it to the 30 of UAB, first down, and Williams close it in now on another huge game. 27 yards on that pick.
It makes one guy miss, and that's all you have to do as a running back. You want just one defender, not a bunch. Skipper eliminates the problem, and then he puts him one-on-one.
Damon Mitchell lines up in the Wildcat. He'll take the snap. And Mitchell, nice run. Coach Bielema told us right before kickoff, expect to see number 7 maybe line up in the backfield, and over the middle, caught, Sprinkle, touchdown.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
Hunter Henry, and then now Jimmy Sprinkle right there. Nice route and well-timed by Brandon Allen. Right as he's coming out of this break, he gets on top of the defender to that side.
I love that. 350-pounder lining up in shotgun formation and spins one. Whew. Boy, Humphrey tried to scoot around the edge. That wasn't happening. But a fourth down and goal coming up. UAB 0 for 2 on fourth downs this afternoon. They will line it up from the 3. Trying to throw for it. Incomplete.
Vertical beats him right off the line of scrimmage.
Good tough defense. DeMarcus Hodge led the charge. The junior out of Monroe, Louisiana, with a loss of 2. Now it's fourth down. Don't forget, coming up Tuesday, 7:30 on ESPN, the first college football playoff rankings will be announced.
Interested to see how that unfolds on Tuesday night.